Chase Thomas the Chase Thomas podcast. My nephew needs me to record. See, I already hate it. I hate it.
All right, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Chase Thomas podcast. From still the aforementioned Chase Thomas, going to you live from Knoxville, Tennessee, Everything School HQ. Joining me down there in Tequila, Georgia, my good friend, fellow University of North Georgia alumni Matt Green is here. Matt, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, sir. It is good to be back with you after another wild day of college football.
It was a wild day, and I watched a lot of college football yesterday. I watched a lot. I was very much glad that the Atlanta Falcons do not play football until tomorrow night on prime time against the Buffalo Bills at Mercedes-Benz, because I need a little bit of a break, Matt Green, because I watched a lot. Tennessee is seemingly in a never-ending one-score game in conference play that we're just going to do from here on out, 3 games in with 5 to go. But it was a lot. Even Georgia, Auburn was making me anxious, and I didn't even have a rooting interest in the matter. There's just a lot of good football yesterday, and it was a fun Saturday, Matt Green.
It was a nice little Saturday, sir. I don't know where you want to start, but yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, no, we're gonna start, because it's a pod divided, Georgia and Tennessee, with our allegiances here, Matt Green. So let's kick things off where I'm going to talk a whole heck of a lot of Tennessee, Arkansas fallout, and obviously Tennessee, Alabama coming up this Saturday, with the third Saturday of October being here. I can't believe we're already at the third Saturday of October for this college football season, but we are here, Matt Green. So let's start off with Georgia at Auburn. Georgia wins 20-10. They outscore Auburn 20-0 after Auburn went up 10-0 early in this football game, but the streak continues. What is that, 9 straight for the Dogs over the Tigers in the Deep South's oldest rivalry? What say you about what was yet again another controversial SEC officiated game, because the SEC officiating continues to just be horrific, and that even goes to the Tennessee game, where the home team, the Tennessee Volunteers, had 9 penalties, and the road team, the Arkansas Razorbacks, had 1 penalty in the ball game. But what say you, Matt Green, about what you saw from Auburn and Georgia last night?
I would say this game went, obviously it was crazier than we expected, and the just ridiculous nature of the whole tale of two halves cliche. It's never been more true than a game ever, I think, than this one was. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I was concerned about. Was the biggest weakness of Auburn this year has been giving up sacks, and this passing game just being so bad. And Georgia had not gotten any sacks, and their pass defense hadn't been great. So you saw Auburn have a lot of success early, and this was the first big game that was at home, the first SEC game that was at home this season. So it was just, I feel like I just had a good feeling that Jackson Arnold's not going to be running for his life against Georgia the way he was against Oklahoma and Texas A&M, mainly because it's at home versus on the road, but also because Georgia just hasn't done that all year. And you finally saw in the second half Georgia get some pressure on Jackson Arnold. But I think at the end of the day, a better quarterback for Auburn probably wins this game. Hits some of those that deep shot to Eric Singleton that he overthrew late in the game, but Jackson Arnold's just still pretty average, and I don't know. Auburn dominated the first half, and Georgia dominated the second half.
Yeah, and I mean that's a running theme, right? This is one of my questions for you. Georgia has a first half problem, right? For whatever reason, they are a completely different team in the second half. Obviously, you saw it against Tennessee. It's been the case both years against Alabama, the last 2. I don't get it. What is happening to Georgia between the first half and the second half, in your opinion?
Yeah, that's a good question. And we're now going on 2 consecutive years of this happening. This was a thing all year last year. Yeah, they beat Clemson 34-3. When you look at it, I think it was 6-3 at halftime. Kentucky was a game they didn't do anything in the first half. Obviously Alabama got off to the slow start doesn't do it justice when you're down 28-0. What other games? Ole Miss, obviously, you never did anything. Texas and SEC championship. Notre Dame in the first half. Like, and now this year it's just more of the same. So obviously, if you're going to be a 1-half team, it's better to do it in the second half and be closing out games in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously something here that this team, and I think it's defensively. Like, I think obviously the offense, first 3 drives of the game did nothing, but their first 3 drives of the game was the first 28 minutes of the game. Like, that's all they had because the Georgia defense couldn't get off the field. So, and I think that's basically what the Alabama game was too. Like, the offense, wasn't just amazing or anything, but it's in terms of a points per drive, like they aren't bad. So I think the problem a lot this year has been the defense getting off the field, and I don't know, they're showing Glenn Schumann on the sideline a lot. Like, I don't know, it feels like you're kind of trying to create a narrative that Glenn Schumann's on the hot seat or something, or there's a lot of pressure on Schumann. Like, at the end of the day, they gave up 10 points in this game. Like, yeah, it sucks how teams seem to do whatever they want offensively for the first 15, 20 minutes of these games, but I don't know. I think you still have to say something about the way this team does shut teams out in the second half now. Like, so I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a stressful thing to be a part of. Tennessee was one that, like, it felt like they were going to kind of do that same thing. And then Tennessee started hitting some shots in the second half as well. So I don't know. That's one that you played 2 poor halves of football. Or, I mean, give credit to Tennessee for having a really good offense. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth a concern. That, I don't know, this team just continues to get off to slow starts.
It is something to monitor, right? Like, we'll see if it becomes something that Georgia can't figure out. I mean, it's just odd. Like you said, I tend to agree that I think Georgia's issues are more defensively than offensively. Like, you go through all the numbers offensively, it's not an offensive problem, I think, for the most part. I still think Gunnar Stockton, he's a gamer. I don't know how good he is yet. He's still kind of, I'm still wait and see on Gunnar Stockton to this point. I think obviously he had the big time throw against Tennessee to ultimately win that football game, but I don't know. I think it's still TBD on what Gunnar Stockton is going to be and what his ceiling is as the quarterback of Georgia. But I also I kind of wonder when you look at the Dogs in a couple different ways. So one of the things I'm curious about, I mean, we got to talk about the officiating part of this, but maybe I'm taking crazy pills, Matt Green, but I don't understand why the fumble is more, like, Georgia fans have more of a reason to be upset about the fumble than Auburn fans, in my opinion, because that's a touchdown. Like, you actually got a touchdown taken off the board, because every image I look at it, I don't know how people see that as a touchdown. Maybe I'm taking crazy pills, but I don't see that as a touchdown at all. Like, he doesn't have the ball. He's losing possession really early on. It looks like he's grabbing like another Georgia player's arm or something. Like, the close-up images, it just does not look like he has any control of the ball as he's crossing the goal line there. But I don't know. What did you think about the fumble?
Well, I'll be honest, man. I think we should have our pre-show meetings, and we should become more of a hot take show and make sure we disagree on things. I'm a little disappointed that you agree with me on this, because I was ready to, for us to have a heated debate here. No,
I call balls and strikes, man. I'm not just
joking,
gonna be,
man.
I'm not a hack here, just gonna go after the Georgia part of it. The only thing I would do. Well, I'm saving. You might disagree on some of the Kirby part of what I have to say after this, but yeah.
No, I agree completely. Like, you saw, it's I don't know, the way Sean McDonough and McElroy were talking about it, I think is what started to annoy me, because it's just like, you obviously see how it's close. Like, even if you think he scored, I think if we have goal line technology, I think it's possible that the ball got in by an inch or so before CJ Allen's fist comes in there and hits it. But I do think, like, the fact that you have at least the close up where you don't have the goal line, you see the second CJ Allen's hand comes in there, the ball comes loose. Like, he doesn't have, like, as soon as his hand positioning kind of changes, he no longer has the ball. So, and then once you have that perfect pylon cam, like, as soon as his hands shift, like, it is short of the goal line. So and then they keep focusing on Raylan Wilson's hand on the outside, who was closer to the camera. And I feel like it's like the ball was already out by that point. But I kept saying the same thing to your original point. Kyron Jones comes in there. The ball is just kind of sitting on the pile there. He just comes in and takes it, is never down, runs 100 yards for a touchdown. Like they never blew the whistle or anything. It's just the refs kind of started coming in there. Like I don't know how it's not a touchdown for Georgia in that scenario. It felt like the refs multiple times in this game were just like, I don't know what to do. I really don't want to piss off both sides. It's like, I don't know if I've ever seen a football game where this decision that's happening is going to be 7 points for one team or 7 points for the other team. Like, that's what we were talking about watching it. And then they're like, no, nobody gets a touchdown. It's just going to be Georgia's ball at the 1. And then all of a sudden, with a minute, 30, Georgia decides to go 90-something yards for the first time, aided by, I think, 35 yards of penalties, all of which were legit. It's not like sometimes they're calling penalties on us, and they're not. It's like there was a dumb roughing the passer, a clear targeting, like a jump off sides. It's like Auburn. There's a reason Auburn's the most penalized team in the SEC this year. Like, so it's a trend. So. Yeah, it was really weird, but yeah, that's the green line stat of the week. I'm sure you've seen that already. But yeah, before that Jackson Arnold fumble, Auburn had 261 yards to Georgia's 28. Score was 10-0, and they'd had the ball for almost 23 minutes to Georgia's just like 7 minutes. So, and then after the fumble, Georgia had 263 yards to Auburn's 35. Outscored them 20-0, and then on the time possession, 23 minutes to 7 minutes, a little over like 24 minutes because it was the end of the first half there. But yeah, it was insane the way Georgia dominated the second half. So you have to give credit to Georgia. I mean, I think were they like without a first down, I want to say, until that final drive of the fourth quarter. For the entire second half, like they just did absolutely nothing offensively. So you have to give Georgia credit for that. But, and obviously it's without that turnover, they go down 17-0, and still giving up 17 points in a game should be enough for your offense to win the game. But just the success that teams are getting chunk plays early, offensively, just consistently picking up 12 yards, consistently converting on third down, I think is the most frustrating part, because Georgia's stopping teams on first and second down. It feels like, and they're getting 3rd and 5. And this is a team that went 0 for 13 on third down against Texas A&M a week ago. And they go and they convert like their first 3 or 4 of the game, I think, in this one. So it's something's got to change, but it's still, I think with what this Georgia team is, I've kind of accepted, like you're saying, you don't know how good Gunner is. And I'm not saying Gunner's like a Heisman Trophy winner or he should, or anything like that. But I think Gunner is really good. And I would argue like Gunner was the reason Georgia won this game because of some clutch plays he made down the stretch. Also, Auburn absolutely shut down this Georgia run game, and Gunner was the leading rusher with 26 yards. So that was surprising. Seeing Chauncey Bowens, I think he may have gotten hurt. He only got 4 carries in this game. But Nate Frazier was the one getting carries down the stretch. Like Auburn basically made Georgia one-dimensional, and they still found a way to win this game. So I got to give Gunner a lot of credit for Georgia winning this game, and then the playmakers, the receivers too, have just made a few clutch catches as well. So yeah, I think it's a gutsy win because I don't know how good this Georgia team is right now. So it's like any win in the SEC feels like a good win at this point.
That's fair. The final thing here on this game. So, well, part of it's like you're an Auburn fan. You can't have sour grapes because it's like after that play, you had all kinds of chances to get back in that game, to preserve the lead. You were outscored 20-0 from that point on. Like, yeah, it's a big swing going from 17-0 to 10-0 and then don't have the ball and that sort of thing. But they didn't get up off the mat. Like they did not. They had opportunities to still put Georgia away, and they just couldn't do it. And Jackson Arnold just is not it. Jackson Arnold really struggled down the field again, and it's just, I've not been a Jackson Arnold guy all year. We saw kind of who he was last year, and it's just more of the same, just without the turnovers from a season ago. But I will say, the crazy part in this game, and again, it didn't matter and influence the outcome of the game or whatever, but Kirby and then the fallout after of just the timeout, because again, like it's not Kirby's fault that the inept SEC officials did not charge Georgia with either a timeout or a delay of game, because you can't have there was no scenario where the choice was option 3 of let's just pretend nothing happened and start the clock back and run it.
There is a third option. The third option is a penalty on Auburn for doing the signals or whatever. Like for the
you can't do that after the fact, because you didn't call that in real time. Like you didn't catch that in real time. Because either the delay of game happened or the timeout happened. You blew the whistle. The officials did not see the clapping or hear the clapping. So, no, you could not call the penalty after the stoppage of play and be like,
did you not see the Georgia-Texas game, sir? You sure as heck can. You can do whatever you want.
Well, again, you're not supposed to be able to do that. So the clapping part of it. But what's funny to me is
I'll be generous and give them that third option, because they chose option 4, which was just none of it.
Yes. Pretending like it didn't happen. They did the Men in Black, just like the pen in Men in Black, where it's just look into this and then start over and you'll forget what just happened. But Kirby was calling timeout. Like, it's just what's funny about that whole, like, there's video where it's like, because I saw today after the fact, there's some Georgia folks who are pointing out like hey, it's clear that he's doing the clap. Like he actually was letting the refs know he's clapping, and you see the safety clapping. Yes, when he got to the official, he was showing him that, hey, that safety for Auburn is clapping and you can't do it. But it started with Kirby having, it's like, you're on 4K, like you're calling timeout. Like it's not one of those where it's like, I don't know. I'm going to give my 10-year was, I don't know, Jim. No, that wasn't what happened. Like Kirby tried to call timeout, and then to play it off was brilliant by Kirby. But also, like, what are we talking about? Like that conversation today was so silly, because I'm like, folks, like, Kirby was trying to call timeout, and I understand, like, both can be true. Kirby also changed his conversation once he got to the official, but that's not how it started. That doesn't dispute how the whole thing started, which was Kirby was trying to call timeout because the play clock was winding down. So that video of Kirby running over to when he's talking to the official about like doing the clapping thing and showing it, it's like, yeah, that's great, but the play clock was also done. Like the whole play, like the time matters. Like, no, that doesn't. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just feel like I'm taking crazy pills with this.
Kirby's explanation at least makes everything that happened make more sense, because he was even caught on the hot mic where you can hear him say like they're clapping.
Yeah.
So like that is what he's talking
about. Which is true. Yeah.
So he's not, I think the broadcast is confusing people saying Kirby saying, no, I was just clapping. I wasn't calling timeout. So that isn't what he was saying. But yeah, obviously you see him clearly calling timeout. So even if you were wrong as the ref and you incorrectly thought he called timeout, it's like, oh, my bad, coach. I thought you called timeout. So timeout, Georgia. You know, it's like just that's how refereeing works. And then you think, oh, no, I'm saying they were clapping. They're not allowed to clap. It's like, oh, that's true. And Kirby said we talked about it before the game too, that they clap. This is something they do. And so he's like, he talked about like, oh, this is what we were talking about. They were clapping. And he's like, oh yeah, coach, you did say that. Look, we'll just put 25 seconds. It's like, it's either a penalty on Auburn for clapping, or it's a timeout Georgia, or it's a delay of game Georgia. And they're just like, nah, let's just run that back. Like, what? I don't know. It's like they just didn't. It's like in both those scenarios, they just didn't make a decision. And then they follow it up with that screen pass to Colby Young and the blindside block where the dude basically squares him up. Like the guy sees him like coming into the side. So I don't know if it's a makeup call. Colby Young had that catch down to the 2-yard line, but then Georgia misses the field goal. It had no impact at the end of the day. But it's really just inexplicable officiating, honestly, just how they lost control of the game. Just like they need to do what the ACC does, I guess. Give some transparency so you can see like this shouldn't take this long to talk about what to do here with the rules and with the reviews and all that. But yeah, it was crazy. I will say at halftime, I knew Georgia was winning this game. If you watched the Hugh Freeze interview going into halftime, if you watched
I was not paying attention.
If you watch that Hugh Freeze interview, you're like, okay, yeah, Auburn's losing this game. Like he was so rattled in a game they were losing 10-3, Like he had to like catch himself. It looked like he's about to say that was the worst call he's ever seen or something like that. And he like stopped himself and he's just like, we should be up by more. And he's just red in the face and talking about like his players got cheated and stuff. And it's like, dude, this is halftime. He's talking like this is the end of the game kind of. It just, he was so rattled in a way that I was like, Auburn's not going to bounce back from this. It feels like they're going to be talking about the referees. I don't know. It was a vibe Hugh Freeze had going into halftime that he just felt rattled.
That's fair. Well, on the Tennessee side of things, Matt Green, Tennessee survives. I had a bad feeling about this game coming in. As the week went on and on, I was just like, I didn't feel great about it. It was just as the game got closer and closer, there was just I didn't love the coaching change right before this game. I didn't love a new defensive coordinator installed here so that Tennessee did not have a real idea of what they were going up against. I think Bobby Petrino schemed the opening script. They had a touchdown on their opening drive. Bobby Petrino is really good in this game. Bobby Petrino is still a great play caller. Taylor Green is a fantastic college quarterback, and he was special in this game. I wrote about it today over at sportsrenaissanceman.com that you can go check out my big story on what all I'm still thinking about in Tennessee's 34-31 win. But one of the things I struggle with right now is Tennessee, even more than 2022. It's so bizarre because Tennessee's offense, they're still coming out of this game. They are number one in the country still in scoring offense nationally at 48.3 points per game. Tennessee is in conference play. Let me pull it up from my story here because it's just one of the, they're 38.2 points per game in conference play. Defensively, they are second to last in allowed and giving up 36.3 points per conference game. So they're right there. The margin is so slim. So yes, they're scoring at will, and they're arguably the best offense when they're all humming in the SEC and obviously in the country. But the defense is so bad compared to where it was last year, compared to where it was 2 years ago. One of the concerns right now I have for Josh Heupel is he has to adjust to this defense not being what it was in 24 and 23. And he's calling it where he had some moments where he punted and you're like, dude, what? And Arkansas went right back down the field where it's like, hey man, if you're fourth and short, 4th and 5-ish, and you're not in like your own 20, you gotta go because A, you're at home, but also you don't have the defense you did. Like Tennessee's defense got shredded in this football game, especially on the ground. Tennessee's rush defense is really bad right now. They're awful on the ground. They gave up 240 yards to Mike Washington, Braylon Russell, and Taylor Green in this game. The Arkansas's two tailbacks, Washington and Russell, 6.5 yards per carry between the two. Arkansas's average third down was 9.7, and they were 7 of 13 on third down. Like Tennessee could not get off the field, similar to what Georgia's problems are. They couldn't get off the field on third and long consistently, and that's been a case all year. They're giving up 20-plus yard plays all over the place, both on the ground and in the air. They're 116th in FBS and giving up 20-plus yard plays per my research here. Arkansas averaged 7.7 yards per game. There's just no question about it. Like Tennessee struggled to win 2 games against 2 of the worst teams in the SEC this year, in Arkansas and Mississippi State. That being said, they also should have beaten Georgia and would be 3-0. Like they're right there. And you replay that game and the ending of that game.
Should have.
I mean, Max Gilbert, that was his miss. Like you heist your own. Max hit 2 big field goals again this week. He doesn't miss field goals. Like Max Gilbert's been awesome. Like it was just they iced their own kicker, and I will take that to my grave. But you win that game, if you replay that moment in that game 100 times, Tennessee probably wins that game 95 plus. But you lost it. It is what it is. But you could easily be 3-0 right now in SEC play, but you also could very much easily be 0-3. Like the margin is so thin right now because this Tennessee, I don't want to say lucky because they earned it. They've built an elite offense. Again, Heupel has evolved and the wide splits are not as common anymore. Like Deshaun Bishop ran all over Arkansas in this football game. They're able to just plug and play. Like Braylon Staley had a great game in this one. Brazzell didn't give you anything, and you still had a great game through the air. Joey Aguilar's been awesome. Like Tennessee deserves all the credit in the world for how building another juggernaut offensively. But you're calling games like you still have the same defense you've had the last couple of years, and the defense isn't anywhere close. Like the defense is going to cost Tennessee multiple games if they like it should have already cost them some games. So Arkansas has to be kicking themselves because I did not feel good about this game in the third going into the fourth quarter, and it was one of those where hey, you take it and you move on, but there are real issues with Tennessee right now. But it's also you look around the SEC, Matt Green, and that was something I wrote about. Like it's just this is the new era we're in where it's like you don't apologize for surviving, even against the worst in the SEC, because you look around and you look at who won football games this weekend in the top 25. And you look around and you're like, okay, the Alabama, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Texas, and LSU combined to win by an average of 5.8 points. Half of those games were against unranked teams for the top tier in the SEC. Like Georgia was right, like one play away from being down 17-0 at a terrible Auburn offense, like on the road at Jordan-Hare. You have South Carolina, who is right there in Death Valley and weren't really fazed by LSU. Like LSU just kind of coasted, but like it wasn't great. And you saw like the turnout there. It looked odd in terms of how many people. I don't know if you saw some pictures, but
it didn't feel like a big game.
No,
just because I was kind of just keeping track of that one the whole night. But yeah, I'm with you.
But it's just you survive in advance, man. Like that, there's just not an elite team in this conference right now. And I think outside of Kentucky, it's just really, really hard to win football games consistently in this conference. Like it's just, I have no idea. Like this is a week to week league, and it's something we have never experienced. And it's kind of like I'm a big The Wire fan, and it's what Slim Charles told Bodie, man. The thing about the old days, they the old days. And that's why I think you have to understand that like Tennessee's got problems, Georgia's got problems, Bama's got problems. Seemingly A&M is the only team right now that's not really feeling a whole lot of problems, but we'll see if that holds. Texas has got problems. Like you just look around and I don't know, man, like things are good. You take 3-1 or you take 2-1 in SEC play out of the gate. You still control your own playoff destiny, even with the loss to Alabama. But yeah, Tennessee's got real flaws. They've also got real positives, but I don't know. Tennessee is going to be in a bunch of close games with 38 points for and 36 against right now. It just means you're going to be in a bunch of shootouts. And Tennessee, I don't think can win a football game if they don't score 30 plus in every conference game the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, your point about the SEC is insane right now. They have 6 of the top 11 in the newest AP poll, and so many of these teams I feel like are flawed. So like I don't know what is going to happen as the season shakes out. But in terms of Tennessee, maybe I'm just I'm not the one who has to stress through a Tennessee game or anything, but I almost feel like it's better this way for Tennessee fans. Like you're a an amazing 4th down conversion or even a field goal. What was how long is the field goal that they missed against Georgia? Is it 40 inside 40 yards? I don't know, 45 yarder or something, 40 yarder.
I didn't think it was inside. I think it was going to be a 30 yarder before the penalty. I think the penalty pushed it back into 40s.
That went from like a 38 to like a 43 yard field goal or something. Yeah. You're right. So you're a 43 yard field goal or a 4th down conversion away from giving up 30 points in all 3 of your conference games and being 3-0 in conference play. Like that just feels more like Josh Heupel Tennessee football. Like, yeah, they were good last year with the ground and pound, the tough defense, but I feel like that's not Josh Heupel's game. So I don't know, this identity of just like high risk, high reward, like, yeah, just win shootouts. I think this is the kind of team that Heupel, I don't know, they seem like they thrive in these shootouts. Like they can score 30 or 40 with anybody and hit chunk plays. Like, I don't know. It almost seems like the style that Tennessee should be able to win with.
You want a middle ground of what you had in 22 versus and what you honestly had last year with Dylan Sampson being able to close out a lot of games on the ground and Jalen Wright the year prior. But I think you don't want the defense to be this bad. Like you can't win a title. You can't have a deep playoff run. Like the defense is too bad. Like it's just you're getting gashed on chunk plays and you just can't win that way. So the defense, I understand what you're saying. Like the identity, I would agree offensively is much more in line with the best version of Heupel's teams, but this defense is not even anywhere close to where it needs to be, especially with the amount of talent they have. The defense has to get cleaned up. Like, it's just the defense, the back end, the linebackers and the safeties in particular, it's just been rough. And I don't know. It's just, you're kind of flawed. Now you just kind of have to accept it. Like, Tennessee fans, I think, have been really frustrated with both and just the zone defense and the passing game and stuff. And I'm like, this isn't the NFL. You can't make in-season trades. Like, it kind of is what it is. Like, I go into every Tennessee conference game where I'm like, safeties are probably going to struggle. The linebackers are going to struggle. Tennessee is, through 6 games, struggled, especially in conference play, to stop the run. They also are elite at sacking the quarterback. Like, Tennessee had a couple forced fumbles in this game. The defense came up huge again. The sacks, Jordan Ross, 2 big sacks for him. Forced fumble, he was awesome. Like, Tennessee's defensive line is doing what they need to do by and large. And obviously the corners, and Ty Redmond's held his own as a true freshman, opposite of Colton Hood. But yeah, I mean, you kind of, you know what I mean? Like, you just kind of have your deficiencies. Like, Georgia's got their pass rush deficiencies. That's not getting fixed this year. Like, you go into next year and you hope it's better. But I think all these teams are just flawed, and you just kind of hope that your team can win enough games and hide your flaws well enough to make the playoff, and then who knows what happens. So I just it is what it is. Like, it's got to get a little bit better. If Tennessee's going to make the playoff, they have to improve a little bit, giving up these chunk plays, because they're going to get got, man. Like, it's just, you're not going to beat Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida, and maybe even Vanderbilt with the defense being in the state that it's in right now.
With that said, I think this Tennessee team goes 10-2. They're in the playoff. So I don't know how
100%.
much. I don't know how much better they have to be, like, to be in the playoff, because they have their flaws. But like Joey and like Arkansas and Mississippi State are obviously not the best teams in the SEC. So when when the competition increases, obviously it could get worse. But I think Joey Aguilar is one of the top 3, top 4 quarterbacks in the conference right now. So
yeah,
you're definitely a contender when you have one of the best quarterbacks in the conference.
Oh, 100%. Like, the offense is elite. The defense is also, outside of like the takeaways and the TFLs, they're great there. The Leos have been good. Joshua Josephs is a first-round guy now. Like, he's been unbelievable. But the linebackers, it's been rough. The safeties, I think Tennessee might have the worst safeties in the SEC. And it's going to be a problem.
And it also just speaks to the other point you were making just about the SEC this year. Like, this is Arkansas. Like, Arkansas is, Taylon Green is the most explosive player in this entire conference, honestly. So they've been making plays like this. You got the interim coach where you don't really know what to expect. And this is not your average interim coach. It's a guy who's been an NFL coach. He's been a good college coach basically everywhere he's gone. It's a loaded conference, man. And you, like you said, no one's apologizing for surviving. Like, I think Arkansas is not your average 2-4 team. I think this team could like, basically all of their losses outside of the Notre Dame one were winnable games for them in the fourth quarter.
I agree. How do we do in week 7, Matt Green?
Oh, how did we do? Let's see here. So money line, sir, you had an excellent day on Saturday and Friday. Did we have Friday? Did we have the South Florida, North Texas? Did we call that one? I'm not sure.
That was not on our list.
Big time game though. Big win for the Bulls.
Were you watching that over Seattle, Detroit, going to 15 innings?
Some of us can do both, sir. I actually was watching that. And then because I mean that one went way longer, so I was able to watch Seattle into extra innings. That's actually
have a quick 30 or 10-second take on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Ghost Runner is great for baseball. Like, this was a game where I love playoff baseball. I was annoyed. We're going into the 13th, 14th inning, and it just felt like neither Seattle and Detroit had anything left. And it's like, this is why we invented the Ghost Runner. This is why it's great in the regular season. I am pro Ghost Runner. It should be involved in the playoffs. I don't know if this is a spicy take, but the Ghost Runner is missed in playoff baseball still. It's a great invention. I love it.
No, I am a big fan of the Ghost Runner in the regular season game. I don't want to sit through 13, 14 innings.
No, nobody does.
Games. So no, I'm a big fan of the Ghost Runner in the regular season, but I think I agree with the decision to not do it in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know, giving teams runs in the playoff. I would agree with you, but there was a lot of action in like every single inning into extra innings. Like they were getting 1 or 2 guys on, then turning 2, making like pitching out of jams and making like Javi Baez made a couple nice defensive plays. Like, I don't know. They were, it was entertaining, even though we got like 4 or 5 straight. I mean, I guess it was more than that, straight scoreless innings.
I'll allow
but yeah.
I'm not strong about it, but it was something that I was feeling.
Who are you rooting for? Are you rooting for Seattle or Detroit in that one?
Seattle.
Okay. I'm
not just because I'm the world's biggest Frazier fan, but also just,
Frazier.
They deserve it, man.
I was definitely everyone liked Seattle in the 90s with King Griffey Jr. and everything.
Also, they haven't been there in 25 years. Like, it's just kind of Detroit's been there. Go back to that. What was it, Kenny Rogers? That starter way back in the day.
Kenny Rogers.
They lose to the Cardinals that World Series.
Cardinals. That was that was the one. Was that like 05, 06 ish, 07?
Yeah, they've been there. So that's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't have had a problem with either though. Like both great stories.
Mariners beat the Blue Jays, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that
tonight. I don't know if you were recording that, but there you go.
Is that a bit? Like, hold on. But also, you can't say I don't know if you were recording that after you spoil something.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how it works, man. I hope you don't do that to other people in your personal life where you reveal a spoiler and then you're like, I hope you weren't recording that.
Well, I mean, that wasn't a bit, but I know you have recorded things in the past. So
yes, I record a lot of stuff. I don't watch a lot of stuff live. It's one of the weirder things about me, I guess, is that I don't I zoom through commercials. I watch it early in the morning or late at night. It's great. Like I can, a Hawks game recorded, man, I can get that done in like an hour and 15 minutes. It's unbelievable.
This is my question for you. But do you know the result?
No,
when you were
never.
Watching? Okay. That's my dad will know results of games and then watch them.
Oh, I can't do that's hard.
What?
Unless I'm like, no. The second time I'll do it. Like if I need to go back and watch stuff, like today I'm going back and watching some Tennessee stuff from yesterday, but like I already watched it. No, I can't watch a full game live or on tape that I already know.
He's just a diehard. You seen this Wichita State team? This is a good team, They're like
your dad's a basketball guy, right?
Yeah, for sure. Diehard. But yeah, so I'm glad you weren't recording that. But to our
Don't get him started on Mike White.
Oh, who isn't a fan of Mike White? You're Georgia basketball. Like we just went to the tournament for the first time in like a decade, right? Like things are better.
No, you just need to change the ugliest court in the SEC. That gray court Georgia's running. Does Tennessee play at Georgia again this year? I hope not, because it's an albatross, like an absolute albatross. It's disgusting. It's got to get removed. It's amateur hour. It's a Mickey Mouse court. It's got to go. It's one of the most embarrassing looks I've ever seen from a big time college sports program. Georgia's gray court is an abomination. It's got to go. It is so embarrassing. If Tennessee did a smoky gray court, something like that, oh my goodness, disgusting.
I will say it wouldn't be my first choice, the way it looks, but you put some respect over there on Stegman Coliseum, sir. It's cool. It's not like awful. Like stuff like Oregon or something is terrible. Like I've seen.
It's awful, Matt. What do you mean? That is an awful court.
I disagree. I think it's a little busy, but I still think it's solid.
That's actually maybe the most homerish I've ever heard you on this very program. And we've been doing this for a long time. You going to bat for the gray court is next level.
Let me pull this up. This court right here.
It's awful.
I mean, I think everyone loves that Bulldog logo, though.
The Bulldog logo is good. You don't need the gray court around the.
It's not gray though. It's like a grayish tan. Like
dude, it's terrible.
It's parquet-ish. But yeah, it's a little busy. I'll give you that. But I don't mind it. We're talking about Georgia basketball. They're trying to get seen. They're trying to go viral. I don't know. Try to do some things.
I don't know. The whole thing looks awful. Like just the whole, it's very, like you said, you got to pick one. You can't do the G, then the Bulldog logo behind it. And then it's just different fonts and different colors all over the place where you got it's just, what a disaster.
You're talking different fonts? What are you talking about?
The G, I'm just saying like the Bulldogs in Georgia and then the SEC and then the G and then it's just a busy thing is what I'm saying.
Okay. Fair enough. Agree to disagree.
And it's just dark. What are we calling that? I guess it's not gray. I'm also colorblind, folks. So whatever it is, it's just dark. The bulldog is great.
It's like when you're in Photoshop or whatever, and you turn some transparency up. It's what it almost feels like. Or increase whatever the opacity. I don't know. What does that mean?
You're just saying words.
I know it's on there. It's on that word I've seen in the program before, but
he's just saying words he's seen now.
I'm just saying I don't know what it means, but yeah, it's like you took tan, like whatever like our standard colored court is, and you kind of turn the dial on it.
Okay.
But yeah, let's get back to the pick'em this past week. You went 8-3 money line this week. I went 7-4. Against the spread, however, I gained one game on you, 6-5 against the spread over here. You went 5-6 against the spread. So Zeus, unfortunately, is home dog of the week. Arizona Wildcats. They had BYU in the fourth quarter, but the Cougs were able to drive down the field, force overtime, and then pull it out in OT. So the home dog, that's what you get for picking Cats to be the home dog. But Arizona almost pulled it out. So Zeus now 5-3 on the season.
There you go. Are we sure Indiana proved they can win it all, Matt Green? Because I'm seeing a lot of Indiana can win the national championship stuff coming out of their very impressive win on the road in Eugene. They're not winning the national title. They're not in the blue chip ratio 1. So they would be the ones that break that streak going back to the first year Bud Elliott invented it. They're Kurt Cignetti, great coach.
Famous inventor Bud Elliott.
He's 17-2 as coach at Indiana. Like, the dude is an absolute juggernaut of a head football coach in college. But we got to calm down. They're not winning the title. I think we've gone too far where they're not winning 3. And also, here's the other part of us talking about who can win the title before the brackets are. If this season has taught us anything, Matt Green, the bracket is everything. Like, you saw Penn State's bracket last year, and they were able to run it. Like, so much of this is going to be dependent on who you get and who you get matched up with and your luck of the draw. So it's like, I don't even want to go too far into it because I'm like, yeah, they can win the title if they get Penn State's bracket a year ago, and also a couple other things break their way. But no, they're not beating like a Big Ten team, a Notre Dame, 2 SEC teams, whatever, to win a national title. They can't do that. But I think they're good. I think they're a really good team. But no, I'm not doing this. Indiana winning the national title? Are we kidding? Like, what are we doing?
I can't agree with you there because I feel like your take is like anyone is lower than the field. So it's like you can almost say anything about anyone. Like, they're not winning the national title and probably be right. But Indiana is clearly a national title contender. Like, they were the better team against Oregon. Like, there was nothing fluky about that game. Like, they just kind of controlled the game the whole way. Like, I think Indiana, like, we just got finished talking about how flawed each of the top 6 SEC teams are right now that are all ranked in the top 11, I think are probably the only 6 teams that anyone would consider a true title contender in the SEC. And we don't know how good any of those teams are. It feels like Ohio State is like the one team that there's like no question marks about, but I think the question marks are just about the competition to this point because they still just feel so untested. But there's just been no drama around Ohio State at all this year. So it's like Miami's played some big time games and they're right up there. Like, they look like one of the more dominant teams, but I don't know. I think Indiana is right in there. Like, I think the 2 or 3 first place votes they got in the AP this week, like, I don't know. I'm with it. They're a contender. They're a national title contender. Like, are they going to win a national championship? Probably not. But you could also say that about all of the other title contenders. They're probably not going to win. But I mean, anything can happen. This looks like a really good team. Like, only one team will win the title.
I don't disagree. And here's the thing. If you're an Indiana believer, you point to Michigan and Ohio State have won the last 2 national titles. So the best team in the Big Ten the last 2 years have won the national title. And I guess you could say Ohio State wasn't the best last year because they didn't make the Big Ten title game. They lost to Michigan at the end of the year. But again, like, at the very least, like, they proved to be the best team in the Big Ten when it was all said and done. That being said, I just you say that like it's the same. I'm like, well, I don't think Indiana's odds are the same as Ohio State or Alabama. I would still be, or Miami, or.
But what are those teams like? If I'm not looking at a playoff predictor or anything, or like chances to win a national championship right now. I know those like actual algorithms are out there, but like if you were to look at some sort of predictive formula, like Ohio State would have the highest percentage chance to win the national championship, probably, right? And it would be like what, 40% or something? Would it be over 50? Like,
so
then
Ohio
they
State
would
has
probably,
the highest odds right now. Indiana too, and this is Football Power Index on ESPN. Ohio State 23.9, Indiana number 2 15.3, Bama at number 3 12.7, Georgia at number 4 at 8, Miami 5 7.8, Oregon.
So the fourth team has an 8% chance.
Yes.
That's kind of what I was gonna get at. It's like they're just, all these contenders are flawed, and right now Indiana looks like they look as unflawed. I don't know what am I trying to say. They have as few flaws as any of these other contenders right now. So I don't know. I think the hype is real. Like, especially you look at the quarterback position, like in terms of the teams that are title contenders. I mean, in terms of the teams in all of college football, Fernando Mendoza is right there, beating as good a quarterback in college football right now.
Elijah Surratt,
like, is there anyone
he's
who's
legit.
like clearly better?
Well, here's the problem. They will play one big game this season because Penn State imploded, and that was the other game on the schedule where you're like, oh, they got to go to Happy Valley. Well, we'll get to that. They get Michigan State at home next after this win at Oregon. They get UCLA, who, look, they are a lot better last 2 weeks, but Indiana should beat UCLA. At Maryland, Maryland can't get out of their own way, should win there. Penn State, obviously, they've checked out. Wisconsin at home, they've checked out. At Purdue, Purdue's awful. So, folks, Indiana's probably going 12-0, right? Like, that's the crazy part. Is like Indiana is probably going to finish the regular season 12-0.
Yeah, these Big Ten schedules suck.
So it's
like,
so
many of them.
No, and I don't know.
Big 10. Did I say Big 12?
I think you said Big 10.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Big Ten, though, Tom Fornelli, CBS Sports, he does a great job on the Cover 3 podcast and anything else, but he had a good column today on his vibe check for Week 7, and one of the things he talked about was that we're going to have a 3-loss team just based on where everything is through 7 weeks of the college football season. Do you agree? Does it feel like there's going to be a 3-loss team that makes it in? And I mean, I don't think it's a Big Ten team. I think you're going to see a 3-loss SEC team make it in this year, Matt Green, with the amount of chaos and just everyone within this conference just cannibalizing each other.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's going to be out of the Big Ten, because I think with Penn State looking as bad as they do, like they were one of those teams. I think what I think my prediction was coming into the year was going to be another year of the Big Ten getting more teams in than the SEC, because the SEC is deeper. And so the Big Ten was going to have more 10-win teams than the SEC. And that's how they were going to get it done. Like we're just talking about Indiana going 12-0 right now. They're going to go 11-1 maybe if Penn State was actually good, right? So, and not disrespecting Indiana, just I'm saying for hypothetical purposes. But you look at the SEC with so many of these teams, like Georgia is definitely one of those contenders that has multiple losable games still left on their schedule, like Alabama, Tennessee, Texas A&M. Like there's just so many of these teams that are up there right now. Ole Miss. I feel like somebody is going to get tripped up. Unfortunately, this is such like a privileged position to be in, because the only teams that can lose 3 games and get into the college football playoff are Georgia or Alabama, maybe in Oklahoma, who's kind of being talked about how ridiculous their schedule is a lot. But it's going to be those brands, at Ohio State in some year where they lose 3 games or something, but you know how talented they are. It's not this year specifically, because I don't think the Big Ten is that strong. But it's going to be one of those teams that was preseason top 5, and that'll get the benefit of the doubt most likely, and be that 3-loss team. But yeah, I mean, with how much parity we've seen to this point, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, that's why people are like, "Oh, like Texas." I don't know. We'll see what Texas looks like down the stretch, how they build off this Oklahoma. Like if Oklahoma still goes 9-3 with their schedule.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I think they've got a good shot.
Like, it's a guarantee to happen moving forward after this year, like with the 9-game schedule and everything. But like, look at last year's schedule or last year's rankings. The day of the playoff was decided. Alabama was number 12 in the rankings at 9-3,
Right.
but they didn't get in because of Arizona State being the conference champion. But then it was Miami. Did Miami have 2 losses, right? And then
Yes.
Ole Miss and South Carolina right behind them with 3 losses. So it almost happened last year when there was a case to be made for those 3-loss SEC teams being more worthy than a 11-2 SMU at that point.
Yeah. No, I agree, Matt Green. Penn State.
One thing I'll say about the playoff, they just better get back to the conference championship counting. Last year's precedent of like, oh, you can't be penalized for losing in the conference champion, like throw that out the window. I'm not sure when we decided you can't be penalized for losing conference championship game. It's another data point on the schedule that we can judge you by. Like that was one of the worst things that came out of the playoff last year. Like no seed repercussions or even making the playoff repercussions for Penn State, Texas, or SMU a year ago.
I would like to get rid of conference title games altogether, but
oh, get out of here.
That's a conversation for another day, Matt Graham. Penn State loses again, 3 straight, falls at home to Northwestern 22-21. James Franklin fired Sunday afternoon, $50 million buyout. The search is on Matt Rule, Kurt Signetti, early names popping out of there on all the rumor mill sites. But look, from CBS, first time an FBS team lost consecutive games as an outright favorite of at least 20 points in the last 30 years, Matt Green. So I ask you, is there a historical comp for the preseason number 1 to implode to this level where the whiteout was less than a month ago, Matt Green, against Oregon? Like that was...
It was 15 days ago.
And it's all over. Everything. Franklin out. This is wild. Like the fact that this all happened this quickly is pretty wild. And who had before the year James Franklin would get fired before Billy Napier and Hugh Freeze? But that's where we're at, man. It's crazy.
Didn't make it. He got fired like 4 days after Sam Pittman, or however long, maybe a week after Sam Pittman. Yeah, it's insane. There has to be more to the story here. Like this couldn't have been a decision made on like wins and losses. Like I know you were rattled by losing to Oregon because you're like, this is the year that we can win a national championship. This is the year that we beat the top 10 team we play on our schedule, and it's just more of the same. And then you lose to UCLA and now Northwestern, and it's real bad. Like it got really bad, but like, has James Franklin not built up like the cachet to like have a bad season? Like that's just very strange to me. Like James Franklin is clearly one of the best coaches in college football. Like depending on where you want to rank him, top 5, top 10, top 15, like he's up there. Like he's a really good coach. And he has Penn State as a consistent top 10 program. It's just really weird to me that this is just so out of the blue. Like I understand like from a Ohio State perspective, like Ryan Day, like they wanted him fired after losing to Michigan, some fans at least. Like they have a reason to have like national championship or bust type standards. I don't know. At Penn State, like James Franklin clearly got this program back to being like title contender. Probably you could probably take exception to that term because I don't know if they're a title contender, but a consistent top 10 program. And to fire him based on one bad season, I don't know. I would have expected James Franklin to just have more, just built up goodwill than that.
I just think there's just so much money in the sport now, right? That like I think it would have been a tough sell because you're just imploding like this. Like, how does it work on the recruiting trail? How does it work for keeping your guys? And to make matters worse, you lose Drew Aller for the year. That's a bummer for him. And he came back, and there's some Carson Beck parallels between this season and last year for Georgia and Penn State in some ways, but it's just, you can't lose. I mean, it's just different. Northwestern and UCLA
last year. Let's just Penn State's over here. They're terrible.
I get that, but I'm just saying they were underachieving the middle point of the year. Georgia won some of those games, like you said. But I mean, all I'm saying is there are some. I'm not saying it's an exact parallel, but there were some parallels between Aller and the expectations and Beck last year and come back. Like it is what it is.
Okay.
But what I am saying, I respect the move though. Now I will respect it less if they hire Matt Rule, who's also struggled to win top 25 games in a similar way to James Franklin. I will also say, so one of the things that one of the things that kind of always annoys me is when people cite like big like stretches of records against top 10 teams in college football for a lot of coaches, where I'm like, okay, I need you to put that side by side with most, if not all, coaches in college football. Because I imagine the record's pretty awful for most people. Like you got to get a couple, you got to get your handful. Like Heupel beat Alabama twice. And there's some like Heupel's won his big game. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit different if you get tripped up somewhere else. But like I understand the Franklin losses have been tough. The Matt Rule loss has been tough. But yeah, like you can't do that. Now Curt Cignetti would be cold-blooded to pull Curt Cignetti from Indiana, who I think is from Pittsburgh originally. But yeah, to pull him after this start at IU would be pretty diabolical, but also a great chess not checkers move by Penn State. But I don't know. I mean, I respect just being like, we're not content. And we went all in with the best roster, best coordinators and everything else. And you fell flat on your face. I just felt like everything was going all into Penn State breaking through this year. You couldn't sell to the donors, to the fan base, to everything else that we'll be fine. We're going to get this right. Like, I think it kind of, the ship had sailed. Like, I agree with you. I think Franklin's a top 15 coach, but that's it. Like I just don't see how you sell this in 2026 because of how bad this is now. Like it's not losing to Ohio State and Indiana in back-to-back weeks. This is losing to Northwestern and UCLA as 20 plus point favorites in back-to-back weeks. This is falling on your face against Oregon at home in a big moment. And like, it's just different. The context matters, but I do say I respect Penn State for being like, no, this isn't good enough. We want to win national titles here. And we appreciate where we're at, appreciate all the great stuff from James Franklin, but we are trying to win a national title. And we don't think you can get us over that final hump, which is the hardest hump.
Why do it right now? Like, I feel like
this
is a year after, you went to the semifinals in the college football playoff. Like, obviously I mean,
Matt, you lost to Northwestern and UCLA in back-to-back weeks.
Of course.
You were expected to win the national title this year.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's weak to do it mid-season like this. Like I don't understand the logic personally. Like I feel like James Franklin had Penn State as a really good program. Like I don't know. Also, like if you're gonna fire James Franklin like this, like cold-blooded has like gone out the window. So like Curt Cignetti should absolutely be your first call. Like that's the best coach in college football that is not at a destination job. As far as I'm concerned right now, like that's the guy you have more money than Indiana, most likely. I don't know. Maybe Indiana's got some of that Mark Cuban money. Isn't he a Hoosier? So maybe
I feel comfortable saying the resources at Penn State is better than Indiana football.
I feel comfortable saying that. But yeah, I mean, that should be their first call. Matt Rule, I don't know. That doesn't feel like an upgrade from James Franklin. If you're going to fire James Franklin, you better have a really good plan of who you can get as the next guy. Matt Campbell, I don't know. Like, is that an upgrade from James Franklin? Like,
I would take a chance. Like, that's a better sell. It just can't be Matt Rule to me because then you just keep James Franklin. Because I just think they're both like somewhere in the top 15, top 20. But again, they have the same big game problem, winning big games, and they're just really solid. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't replace it. They're too much alike, for better or for worse. I don't know if
you can say what Matt Rule's ceiling is truly yet. Just being at Baylor and Nebraska, like I don't know. At the resources of Penn State and kind of
he played at Penn State. He was a linebacker there.
Yeah, that's who everyone loves. The alma mater guy, if they can get him. Alumni, I guess I should say. But yeah, I think I would not have guessed that Matt Rule was a linebacker. I don't think I knew that. But yeah, that's I don't know. That could be a good hire, but it's like, I guess just to fire James Franklin, it's just, I don't know. Like Georgia fired Mark Richt, like sometimes this worked out and they got Kirby Smart. Sometimes you you fire Bo Pelini because you think you're better than going 9-4, 9-3 every year, and then you have a decade of irrelevance that's continued, I guess, till this day. Nebraska still has not been a contender at any point since firing Bo Pelini. Not that they were a contender with Bo Pelini, they were just a consistent finishing somewhere in the teens or in the 20s in the rankings. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's a bold move to fire James Franklin. I don't know. I disagree with it personally, especially with the timing.
I think it just depends on who they hire. So it's just one of those where I respect it if you upgrade or you take a big swing and it works out. But I don't know. I think you gave Franklin a long time. And Franklin left Penn State in a better spot than when he found it. And I'm curious what his next move. I will say, too.
You get John Gruden.
No.
I'm just joking.
Gruden, I don't know. We'll see.
I think we've talked about John Gruden.
Like, NC State's where you want to try it if you're John Gruden. I'm telling you, you want to start lower P4 and where the expectations are pretty modest. Get a little bit of juice there. Take your time a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Spider 2 Y banana.
Yeah. We'll see. Alabama 27, Mizzou 24. This was a fantastic game. Ty Simpson, big time 4th down throw late in this one. He was fantastic again. I mean, do you feel better about Bama or Mizzou coming out of this game, Matt Green?
It's an interesting angle to take from this game because I felt like Alabama was like the better team as I'm watching like third, fourth quarter, but I'm like I don't know that they're better. Like they weren't putting them away. I think it was around the time Alabama missed a field goal or something. It's like Missouri can take the lead right here. Like it was just a very evenly matched game. Like in terms of, and obviously I'm a Georgia fan watching it and like thinking just how we played Alabama a couple weeks ago. But like Missouri's just consistently getting into the backfield. Like this defense is legit. Like they made things a lot more difficult on Ty Simpson. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, I don't think we learned anything necessarily about Alabama that we didn't really already know. Like, this team is really good, and I think Ty Simpson is one of, if not the best, one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. And they can kind of be. They did run the ball better in this game, but and that's probably something you can take away too. Like they've kind of been one-dimensional at times this year, winning with the pass game, and they were able to run it better in this one, but. Yeah, I was a little disappointed with Bo Perbula. A couple of bad interceptions he threw in this one. They had a chance. They had a chance to win this game, and they came up short. It was a great game. I think Alabama's just kind of they're in a close game every week, and they're just finding ways to win. So you gotta tip your hat to them. I don't know that like we're kind of having this conversation. I don't know that there's a great team in the SEC right now. But they look like one of the better ones. But I don't know. Missouri is not being taken seriously as being like a playoff contender. But I mean, maybe they should be. Like at number 14 right now at 5-1. Like I don't know. They don't actually no, they dropped. They're number 16 now. But yeah, I think we learned both of these teams are pretty good. I don't know who the next team that Missouri has that will kind of challenge it. Like this could be a 10-win team or so this year.
No, I think Mizzou's really good. I think they came out of this game. Yeah, you would like to win it. Mizzou still got a nice schedule. Like Mizzou can absolutely still make the playoff, and I think they're legit. Like Mizzou is a really good football team. They pressed Alabama, gave them as much as they can handle, but I also just came away. Ty Simpson's really good, man. Ty Simpson, Bama's receivers, getting the Jam Miller injury question is going to make Tennessee's game interesting on Saturday. Tennessee, it's just so funny week to week because I think Tennessee's got a good shot of winning at Bama on Saturday. And I still think Bama's the best team in the SEC right now. It's just, I think what Tennessee's weaknesses are, Bama is going to have trouble exploiting. You know what I mean? Like, I do think Bama's run game being as questionable as it is right now is a huge win for Tennessee because their biggest issue right now is getting off the field on third down and being able to stop the run. And I think they're actually a sneaky good matchup for where Alabama's at.
Didn't you say they have the two worst safeties in the SEC?
Yeah.
That's not great for playing against Alabama.
I mean, no, that's a weakness, but I'm saying like at least there's not multiple things. Like it's been multiple issues, but I don't think Bama's going to run all over Tennessee. I don't think they have the horses right now. So that's but yeah, no, I think Bama's the best team in the SEC. I think Ty Simpson's the best quarterback in the conference. I think Ty we'll see. I think Bama is very, very, they're going to continue to get better. I think Bama has gotten better every week. I think it's impressive to go on the road here and win in Columbia. I will say it's not a great look, the end zone situation there. It did not, like, it felt like a COVID game at times, you know? It didn't feel like you know what I mean? On the broadcast. Did you feel that way a little bit?
I know there's logistical things when it comes to construction, but
yeah,
I know Georgia and Georgia clearly was not doing as big of things. They've done some huge things the last couple of years, but they've made sure to do all of them in the off season, and it doesn't like prevent anything from happening. Like, yeah, you'll have a spring game that's not full attendance.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell cares about that? Like, but to have like actually be playing big time college football games and not have anyone in the end zone. Like, I saw the mock-ups. Like, it looks like it's gonna look really cool, but like, I don't know. Your last home game was when? Like the last week of November at the latest. Like, you should have I don't know. We had 9 months or so for them to finish this before football.
Well, I'm not
season.
a city planner, so
I'm
I
not
can't
a
really
city
dive in
planner
here.
either.
I'm just saying that I'm just talking about, like, as a viewer, it was not a great look because it's just like, oh man, it kind of took something away where it just felt odd. You know, I think it lost some juice because of it. But
I mean, Vanderbilt, what is this? 2 straight seasons that they haven't had?
Well, I think Vanderbilt's done. Vanderbilt's is done now. They didn't have it for a couple years. Yeah, Vanderbilt's done.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, there you go.
Final one I want to hit on before we put a bow on week 7 here, Matt Green. Pitt 34, FSU 31. FSU, man. FSU is just 3 straight losses here in conference play. They're 0-3. They beat Alabama to start the year. I don't know. A lot of coaches are going down in flames right now. Pete Nakos of On3 in his story had this. Mike Norvell, 20-30 all time in the ACC and 1-10 in the last 2 seasons in conference play. I think Mike Norvell is a good coach, somewhere in that top 20 range. They were one of the best teams in college football 2 years ago. It feels like forever ago now. They were legit. Mike Norvell, I think, is a good coach. Great coaching tree. Dillingham, Silverfield, and company. Dan Lanning also part of that. I can't believe it's got, like, he was flirting with the Alabama job. Green, like, he was in play for that. And now we're at, like, are we sure he's going to make it through the year? Is Florida and Florida State both going to have coaching changes in the same year? I am so split on what I would do about Norvell, because there is part of me that's like, do you wait a little bit longer now that you get a little bit more money based on viewership and stuff in the ACC? You know, they changed the rules, you know, for going to make FSU and Clemson and the big boys happy. Like, do you just see, because the recruiting is not where it's needed to be, but it's still getting a little bit better. Still, if you look at it, it's mostly blue chip guys they're signing the last 2 cycles. Part of me is like, I'm so split on this. Like, I'm not split on Napier, and I'm probably not split on Hugh and a couple other guys. I'm very split on what I would do about Norvell if I was Florida State at this point. What about you?
Yeah, you remember when De La Salle High School had that like 150 game winning streak or something?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some story came out about like the team that beat them have basically practiced for like a whole year. And that's like the only thing they focused on was beating this team for like the whole year. And they beat them. I don't know what the rest of their season was. I don't know if they imploded after that, but it feels like Florida State did that this offseason. And all of their focus was on how do they beat Alabama. And they did that. And then they forgot that they had 11 more games to prepare for. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that this team was a good team personally. I mean, Miami kind of dominated them, but the way they beat Alabama early in the season, it's like, I don't think you can beat a team like that unless you're a good team. Like, it didn't seem fluky. So I don't know. I think clearly Pitt made the right decision at the quarterback spot with, I don't know if you know how to pronounce his name, Mason Heinschel. I don't know. That's my best guess.
Yeah.
But that dude looked good on Saturday. Threw a couple picks too, but I don't know. I think last year, like I said, you can't fire someone for one bad season. Talking about James Franklin. I think Mike Norvell's season last year was a season that you could fire someone for one season. Like, it just doesn't get this bad. Like, at a big time program, like your bad years are 6-6 and you go to the Birmingham Bowl or something. Like, you don't you don't go 2-10 or whatever they ended up going last year. So yeah, I mean, now that they're 3-3, there's at least probably 2 or 3 more losses on this schedule this year. If they're not in a bowl game, like you can't bring Norvell back again, in my opinion.
If what's your final one? If they don't what?
If they don't make a bowl game, like if it's like that bad, like I don't know, if they go 6-6, it's like it's Florida State. Like that might be bad enough, like 7-5 or something, but I don't know.
What's a better job in 2026? Florida or Florida State?
I think it's got to be Florida.
Okay.
Just I think being in the SEC with what the conferences are right now, like I think there was a scenario prior to playoff expansion where the best jobs in other conferences that weren't the SEC actually gave you a better chance to win the national title. Like being at a Florida State, being at a Clemson was better than being at the 4th or 5th, being at LSU or something where there's a bunch of teams that are just as good as you. I think there was an argument to be made, like in the old system, it was better to be one of the top 2 in a lesser conference. But now, I mean, you can finish 4th, maybe even 5th. Like we've only seen a couple years of this. We've seen 1 year of this playoff. Like who knows how many teams that each conference is going to get in year to year. And I think also what we're seeing from the rankings right now, I think the rankings are definitely like a foreshadowing of how the playoff committee is going to act. Like obviously a lot of these SEC teams don't have the losses yet. And once we get more into conference play, more teams will have losses. But we've never seen like this many SEC teams in the polls, like every single week. Like it's like 12 teams are ranked right now, right? Or 10 teams. Like we're in the middle of October. It's usually not that many, like 6 of the top 11. So I think people are kind of factoring in these teams are playing significantly more like tougher schedules down in this conference.
That's fair. Any other games we did not hit on that you wanted to throw something out there real quick, Matt Green?
Last thing I'll say, I think a lot of people were, blinded by the Florida win. Maybe the Florida win over Texas, or maybe they just, I don't know, just habitually disrespect Texas A&M. But Texas A&M is legit, not because they beat Florida by 2 touchdowns or whatever, but Texas A&M is just a legit title contender. Like this team kind of has everything you need. Like teams are flawed, but like what they have at the quarterback position to go with their defense and their playmakers, like Marcel Reed would probably not be one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the playoff if they get in the playoff. But I mean, I think that guy's good enough to win a national championship with everything they have around him. Like I think A&M is a legit title contender right now.
Yeah.
I think they're more legit than Ole Miss personally. I think they've proven more to this point than Ole Miss.
It's not fair. I'm still holding out on Texas. I mean, it's easy to forget though. Where I'm like, I'm holding out, but I'm like, they were right there in the last week of the season, making the SEC title game. Like if they beat Texas to end last year, they're in the SEC title game, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
what would they have been a 3-loss team because they had the loss to Notre Dame, but 2 losses in conference, I guess.
And I think they would have been, and then you're in. Like if you make the SEC title game, you're in. And who knows what would have happened. So yeah, I tend to agree. I think we're overlooking A&M. I would be curious what a neutral site line this week would be between Bama and A&M.
Yeah, I wonder. I bet Bama's favored in Vegas, but it would be close. I think A&M is legit one of the best teams in the conference. And next week we have like the most loaded slate, right? This is the 8-game SEC schedule we get all season. Who does A&M have next?
Well, A&M's got a brutal next 3 weeks. They go to Arkansas, to LSU, to Mizzou.
Yeah, I mean Arkansas. That should be a win.
Arkansas
for Texas A&M.
I mean, I think that's
to
going
Arkansas
to be
on the road. Yeah, that's
well.
fair.
That's in Jerry World, isn't it? Isn't that game always in Jerry World?
No, they've done it a couple times. It says it's in Razorback Stadium though.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. As someone who just watched Arkansas in person, this was scary stuff. Like A&M's the defense got to be locked in because this Arkansas's offense is very good.
No, that's fair. And Arkansas is going to get somebody without a doubt. And that could definitely be the one. I don't know. Maybe Kentucky. Does Kentucky get Texas? I don't know.
Kentucky's bad, man. Kentucky's like the only team I don't think gets anybody in the SEC this year. I think Kentucky is just awful. And that's what we're not even talking about. It's like the Stoops.
Interesting SEC prime time. Texas at or ESPN prime time. Texas at Kentucky next week. But
is that really the prime time?
Yeah, Tennessee, Alabama, obviously being the other night game. Ole Miss at Georgia, college game day, 3:30. I don't know.
Is that announced? I didn't see that. Game days in Athens for Ole Miss.
Yeah, game day is going to be in Athens. I think for the second straight time for Georgia, Ole Miss in Athens. I believe in 2023 it was game day as well.
That sounds right.
And Georgia put up a 50 spot in that one and cruised to victory. So we'll see what happens. Currently 6.5 point favorite in that one, but yeah, that'll. I don't think we know a lot about Ole Miss to this point. I think we, with what they've done in the first 6 games, and now the weirdest thing they've done to this point, I feel like we kind of knew about Ole Miss, and then they go out and beat Washington State 24-21. I don't know. I'm very confused of what to expect from Ole Miss going to Sanford Stadium next week.
That's fair. Matt Green, what can the good folks check out from you this week over at Georgia Voice of College Football and everywhere else?
Well, they can check us out on our live show every Monday, 7:00, and then also post-game instant reaction on Saturday as well. So check us out at the Georgia Voice of College Football, man.
There you go. Matt Green, always a pleasure, and I'll talk to you again in a couple days.
Yes, sir.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.